Hello, welcome everyone to Unity Clear Lake Center in Lower Lake. Um, I am going to say the opening prayer, and here's my Christ candle. And as we light this Christ candle, we acknowledge the presence and the power of the Christ energy living within each of us. That energy force, we are it and it is us. And we give thanks. And so it is. And we have Karie to do our opening song. She's our special guest speaker, and she also sings and plays the piano. And so Karie is going to start us with Surely the Presence. Oh dear.
And it's grace. I can hear the brush of angels' wings. I see glory on each face. Surely the presence of the Lord is in this place. Surely the presence of the light is in this place. I can feel its mighty power and its grace. I can hear the brush of angels' wings. I see glory on each face. Surely the presence of the light is in this place. Surely the presence of the light is in this
Mm, thank you so much, Karie. Beautiful, beautiful. I'm going to read to you now the invocation affirmations. First, this is who we are. There is only one presence and one power active in my life, God, the good, omnipotent. And then there is only one presence and one power active in Unity Clear Lake Center, God, the good, omnipotent. And finally, there is only one presence and one power active in our world, God, the good, omnipotent. And then the 5 basic ideas of unity, which is the basic foundation of unity. God is absolute good, everywhere present. Human beings have a spark of divine spirit within them, the Christ consciousness within. Therefore, they are inherently good. Human beings create their experience by the activity of their thinking. Thoughts held in mind produce after their kind. And then prayer is the process that affirms our connection with God mind and brings forth wisdom, healing, and everything good. And finally, knowing and understanding universal laws, also called truth, are not enough. A person must also live the truth that he or she knows. And we will continue the service now with some music from Karie.
Hi, I'd like to teach you a song that's a call and response and a sing along. So on the verses, I'm going to sing a line and you'll sing it back to me. And on the chorus, we'll all sing that part together. So let's have fun with this. I close my eyes, I open my mind, and I look inside. What do I find? A heart filled with joy, life touched by grace. I'm feeling love for the whole human race. There is enough. There is enough. Everybody, I am enough. We are enough. I let it go. And I open up. Embrace all I have. Give all I got. I open my heart. Reach out my hands. Sharing it all. 'Cause I understand. There is enough. There is enough. Everybody, I am enough. We are enough. I close my eyes. I open my mind. And I look inside. What do I find? A heart filled with joy. Life touched by grace. I'm feeling love for the whole human race. 'Cause there is enough. Everybody, there is enough. I am enough. We are enough. 'Cause there is enough. There is enough. I am enough. We are enough.
Oh my goodness. Oh, thank you very much, Karie. And I selected to read for my daily word today one on harmony, and so here we were certainly harmonizing. Ah, harmony. My soul sings a song of God. Harmony is the song of life. I observe how the rhythms of the natural world come together to create a single melodious song. As I attune myself, sorry. As I attune myself to this harmony, I am inspired to create it in my life. I begin by quieting my mind, calming my emotions, and relaxing my body. As I do so, I yield to the presence of God within me. In this space, the clamor of my busy mind falls quiet. I can better hear the still small voice within, restoring me to inner harmony. In balance and at peace, I feel at ease in all situations, and with everyone I meet, I no longer need to seek harmony because it flows from me. The state of the world will shift and change through it all. I will remain calm, claiming the harmony of God as my own. But anyone united to the Lord becomes one spirit with him, from 1 Corinthians 6:17. My soul sings a song of God. And as I introduce Karie, I would like to say that for 10 years, Karie, you have been sharing your beautiful music and inspiring talks. Her talk will have more music as she will talk to us about embracing our creative power. Thank you, Karie. I will mute myself.
And I will unmute myself and put my video on. So, hi, is it working? Am I there? All right, well, good morning. Yeah, I can't believe it's been 10 years. Sometimes it seems less, sometimes it seems more. So, here we are again, trying to find tools to help us get through this world that we're living in these days. I'd like to explore what happens when we embrace the divine spark of creativity that resides in each and every one of us. And activating creative power is a process of transformation, growth, and radiant expression. I love that, radiant expression. People often equate creativity with just music or art or painting, but it actually is so much more than that. It's about using this creative divine spark that's within each of us to find new ways to solve life's problems, to approach life's challenges, to bring new possibilities and perspectives into existence by tapping into that creative resource, that knowing that's inside all of us all the time. And it's recognizing that we're all extensions of something greater than us, source, higher power, God, whatever you want to call it. Name it what you will, but we're all connected to it and to each other. And I think a lot of times we forget that. So I love it when teachers like Jesus and Ernest Holmes and Buddha remind us. Ernest Holmes says, "We are surrounded by, immersed in, and there is flowing through us a creative something." And for me, when I feel that connection, when I open up to that energy that is always available to me, that's when I feel like I'm connected to a channel. I'm connected to something far beyond myself that can guide me and inspire me and help me show up in the world as so much more than I would be if I wasn't willing to connect in to that energy, that power. The recognition of that is one of the foundations of a lot of the teachings that I have explored. And that's what resonates with me. Not that I'm worshiping something outside of me, or that we all are. We're going to church and we're sitting in a building and we're worshiping something outside. And what I love about the more New Thought and the metaphysical teachings are that we recognize that that source, that power is in every single one of us. And by looking for that in other people, it can make our awareness of our interconnectedness so much stronger. And that helps us navigate life in a more loving way. Because if we're just these little forms in our earth suits and we forget about that interconnectedness, we're not going to necessarily strive to be as kind or as loving or as accepting or as inclusive as we would be when we're actually recognizing that there's only one of us here. So not only are we connected to each other, but we're also connected to the Mother Earth. So there's just one large energy field here, and we might be in our little separate forms, but we're all connected to each other. Ernest Holmes emphasized the power and importance of creativity in life and in the universe because he believed that life itself is infinite energy coupled with limitless creative imagination. Think about that. That life itself is infinite energy coupled with limitless creative expression. I mean, what if we weren't afraid to pick up a paintbrush? What if I wasn't afraid to try to learn an instrument or try to express myself musically? I would be depriving myself of the wonderful experience of bringing that to other people. And I would also be depriving the world of what that gift that I have, that I was uniquely given to bring. So most of the spiritual traditions that I've studied over the years talk about creative process or creative energy. They don't always call it creativity. The Buddha didn't use that word. His teachings are filled with ideas about innovation, self-discovery, the power of transformation. And he emphasizes many aspects of how to show up, how to use our tools. But I'm going to focus on the ones that resonate the most deeply for me, and a few of the tools that I have in my toolbox that I like to use. So when we're mindful and we set clear intentions, and I always laugh about, I had a dear friend, actually, I have lots of stories about this, but I think I'm going to share the one about my sister-in-law who kept asking for a male that would be loving and like to cuddle and would kind of dote on her. And she got the perfect male cat. But she realized that she might have needed to have a little bit clearer intention about what kind of a male she really wanted. So the more clear we are and the more we're willing to tune into our inner guidance to guide us and our creative endeavors, the more powerful what we come up with and how we show up will be. And also to have a purpose or maybe even a sense of responsibility for what it is that we're putting our energy toward. Because when we do, we can have more meaningful and impactful creations because our hearts are connected to what we're creating. We're not just out there throwing paint on a canvas. We're not just out in the world, not mindfully showing up. So it's having that intention and that clear focus are key. And as we learn to use these spiritual tools to inspire creativity in our lives, we're better able to co-create a world that works much better for everyone. So here are 3 of the Buddhist practices that I feel support my personal creativity and improve the quality not only of my own life, but of the lives of people that I interact with. And, obviously, in my case, my job, my gig in this world has been to touch people through my music. So one of the core practices is meditation, because this helps cultivate an inner stillness and clarity. I mean, I don't know about anybody else, but I get so crazy busy in my life that I'm just scattered. I'm running everywhere. I completely lose track of and touch with why I'm here, what I'm working on, what I'm trying to do and create. So when I take a few minutes or longer every day to just sit with what's my purpose, what's my focus, and try to get more and more clear, I'm better to be more effective in the world. So everybody's different. And I always feel so bad because I know how awful it feels to feel like I'm not doing it right, that I'm not meditating often enough, that I'm not meditating long enough, that I'm not in the right position. And I finally, one of my teachers, Adi Ashanti, said he didn't care if you're kicked back in a chaise lounge chair and your back isn't straight, but if you're connecting with Source, that's what's important. Not your posture, not if you do it exactly at 6 o'clock every morning. It's the intention behind it. For me, it's swimming. That's often my quiet time. It's when I'm communing with Mother Nature. I'm paying attention to how I'm breathing. I'm paying attention to just the essence of Mother Earth and breathing with her and feeling connected through the water and through the pulsing of the waves. To me, this is one of the most powerful meditations for me. So, anybody else have a committee that lives up here and like never takes a day off, never takes a break? And to be able to quiet my good friend, my best friend, Chris calls it the committee. That's kind of our catchphrase. One of my really good walking buddies, also named Chris, she calls it the board. She'll say, "Oh my God, the board has been meeting nonstop since the last time I saw you, and I can't get them to take a recess so that I can just breathe." So one of the core practices I'm going to encourage us to do this morning together is to do a little guided meditation. And I want you to think about how many of you, when you're struggling with a challenging situation, whether it's personal or at work, that when you make the effort to just sit with it, whether it's a formal meditation or just taking a quiet moment to simply be with your feelings. And a lot of us do not like to be with our feelings. We're not comfortable. They're scary. And I ran away from mine for a lot of my life, but I don't do that anymore because the only way I have ever been able to come to healing and understanding on some of the most important issues and challenges in my life was to face them head on and to take a pause, to take a little quiet time, and then to just listen for guidance. And almost always, some course of action or path emerges for me in that quiet time. If not an actual resolution or the perfect thing to do, it, at the very minimum, it might help me let go of whatever upset there is, whatever challenge there is that I can't seem to find a resolution for. So often we'll get a hit on how to do something differently. And it's many times an idea that never would have occurred to us had we not taken a little breather and stopped being in fix-it mode and just leaned in to see what source was going to give us as a better path to resolve whatever the issue is. You know, having the committee take a little time off can be a really good thing. When the mind is calm and focused, we often experience moments of insight and inspiration that can spark new ideas and creative solutions that we wouldn't have gotten if we just stayed in fix-it mode. So I use a practice from the Course in Miracles. This is Marianne Williamson used to lecture on the Course in Miracles in LA back in the 80s. And this one has stayed with me for decades. And it's 4 questions. You sit with them, you ask them, you sit with them, and you wait for guidance. And they are, where would you have me go? What would you have me do? What would you have me say? And to whom? So I'm going to invite you to sit comfortably in your chair or on your couch or lay on the floor. I love that this is Zoom. That'd be hard to do in the church. Everybody out of your chair, lay down. And let's all take a deep breath together and breathe out. And as we sit for a moment, I want you to let your mind wander. You can close your eyes and see if a situation that needs healing on some level comes up for you. Now, it could be an issue with your mate, your partner. It could be someone at work who's driving you nuts. It can be something that happened to you last week, an interaction with someone on the street or in the store, in the line in the grocery store. It can be something that's been bugging you for a long time. But just sit with this with your eyes closed and see if anything comes up. Maybe an old wound that has haunted you. And I'm going to play a video and I'm going to sing you those questions. And I want you to think about what might be up for you and listen for guidance. And when the song's over, I'm going to let us sit in the silence for just a few seconds, few additional seconds, and just see if anything comes up. Because, yeah, often the directive will be do nothing, which is not a bad idea sometimes. So I encourage you to listen.
Where would you have me go? What would you have me do? What would you have me say and do? Take a moment to look deep inside. Move away from your fear and your pride. Where would you have me go? What would you have me do? What would you have me say and do? Change will come when we all do our part. There's an answer in everyone's heart. So where would you have me go? What would you have me do? What would you have me say and do? There's a purpose for all living beings to discover our hidden wings. So where would you have us go? What would you have us do? What would you have us say and do? Where would you have us go? What would you have us do? What would you have us say and do? Where would you have me go? What would you have me do? What would you have me say and do?
So let's all take a deep breath together. And yeah, I wish we could have a little interactive part right here just to see if anybody wants to share, if anything comes up. That song is actually available, I think, or it's going to be. I think it's going to be on my new project. And the way it's recorded is the questions and then an instrumental section, so that you can have that powerful time of singing those questions, asking the universe, where would you have me go? What would you have me do? What would you have me say and to whom? And then the instrumental section, you can sit with it and see if anything comes up. And then you ask the question again. And then there's another instrumental section. And it's a very powerful practice to have yourself open. And it's something that you can ask yourself very quickly if something's starting to get heated, if somebody's starting to get irritated with you, or if you're starting to get irritated with someone, you ask for guidance. So I hope that practice will help some of you get some clarity, or even perhaps a slight shift of some sort for you. So the second thing the Buddha teaches us is compassion and kindness. And that's one of my favorite practices, and it's active compassion. Because they help foster a more empathetic and understanding approach to life. I mean, I'm sure all of us have walked into a room and been either repelled or drawn to someone because of their energy. Compassion is a really powerful healing energy that brings people together, that pulls people together. And it's something that we can practice every day. When we're in that mode, it again leads to a greater appreciation for the interconnectedness of all things. Because if we see someone as ourself, as if we recognize that every other living thing, being, including the earth, is attached to us, that awareness for me makes it really hard for me to be a jerk, because I'd be being a jerk to myself. And that is counterproductive and counterintuitive. So when we're in that mode, this can also, again, lead to new and innovative, creative expressions. Like even trying to find a little extra thing that we can do to be kind to somebody who's having a hard time. The parallels of the Eastern religions, the Bible, New Thought, they merge so often. The more I study them, it only reinforces my appreciation that there's common truths that live in every spiritual teaching. So I know a lot of you, because I was caring for my mother during the time I first started coming and sharing at your church, a lot of you remember that my mother had Alzheimer's, and as can be the case with that disease, it amplifies some of the person's personality characteristics. Like if somebody's super sweet, it makes them even sweeter. My mother wasn't. She had some unresolved things. And so my mom became a little more belligerent and harder to be with until the very end. And then she actually was so sweet. It was kind of bittersweet to lose her that way. But it was a really difficult and challenging journey. And it took quite a bit of time after she passed and I regrouped and rebuilt my life for me to recognize the gifts in that experience. And they were tremendous. Probably the most powerful one was my ability to be more compassionate and kind with pretty much everyone who crossed my path. Because I can remember becoming so aware that my emotional and physical exhaustion was to a point where there was no way that I was functioning normally in the world. I was short with people. My sanity was hanging by a thread. And that the awareness that perhaps that person that's being a jerk is dealing with a parent or sibling or family member or spouse that has Alzheimer's and they're having a really hard time. Or maybe they're dealing with a teenager. Anybody raised a teenager? They can be pretty challenging. Or maybe they're having a horrible time at work, or they're facing a life-challenging illness. So for me, the Alzheimer caregiver experience helped me move through life with a different filter. So instead of going, wow, what a jerk that person is, and being mean back, my go-to default became, wow, I wonder what's happening. I wonder if their partner has cancer. I wonder if they just lost a child. I mean, I instantly go to compassion and understanding instead of judgment. And I don't always get it right. I mean, especially when I'm driving, I am probably the angriest, most frustrated driver because I do this 700-mile commute up and down California once a month. And LA drivers are buttheads. They don't care. They'll do a U-turn right in front of you from the far right lane. I mean, people do crazy stuff, and I can get pretty zero to rage pretty quick sometimes. But I am learning to even say, okay, maybe they're late to work. Maybe they've already made 3 wrong turns and they're trying to get to an interview, and just give them the grace that I needed. I needed so much grace during those years of taking care of my mother. And in the middle of it, my sister died, and I ended up with 2 teenagers who hated me because my sister hated me. And my charge from the universe was get these kids through high school and build a bridge. And by golly, they're my kids now. I am so blessed. Thankfully, they were both musicians and had musical interests, so I was able to build a bridge on something I had a good foundation in. But it's the being willing to shift where we're coming from. Instead of being angry at my sister for having a mental illness and poisoning my niece and nephews against me, I just moved through, how can I heal this? Because this really needs to be healed, and it's important. These are my last living family. So sometimes just recognizing that other people need grace and remembering the times that we needed it and people gave it to us is really powerful. So I hope some stuff came up around what I just shared, an awareness of things where maybe we could offer a little grace and even ask for it when we need it. And this is, I probably share this every other service that I present, or even every service that I present. And this is one of the most effective tools. Dr. Reverend Michelle Whittington, who had the Creative Living Fellowship out in Arizona, shared this as, I think, the first service I ever played in support of her. And it is when you are faced with a challenging situation, instead of just going off, it's to stop, take a deep breath, and ask, what would love do here? And then listen. And do what guidance suggests. And sometimes what you're going to get is do nothing. And I'm a doer. So that's always the most challenging directive for me, is the do nothing. Back away, give this person space, don't try to fix it. And sometimes I get very clear directive, and it will be offer the person a hug. Offer the person your ear. Share an experience where you learned from something similar to what they're going through. But if we never stop and ask, what would love do here? What's my part? How do I help heal this? We don't have the opportunity to receive whatever information we might get from Source. I'm going to share, the last song that I do is called What Would Love Do Here, and I'm going to share it after my talk to kind of wrap things up. But I want to share one more thing, and that is the power of transformation. So Buddhism, science of mind, Bible, a lot of spiritual paths teach this. And it's about the impermanence of all things and the potential that we have for constant growth and change. Now, becoming comfortable with change is not my forte. And it's forcing myself, encouraging myself, giving myself the space to learn to be more comfortable with changes and upsets has actually afforded me opportunities for growth that have led to new creative endeavors. I'm in the middle kind of one right now, where I thought everything was set for a concert that I have coming up. And then one of the key players dropped out on like no notice. And I'm picking up those pieces and I'm rebuilding. And it's forced me to reach out to a larger musical community here in Santa Cruz, because I never found my tribe here. I kept working with my bass player drummer in Santa Rosa and my guitarist in LA and a lot of my other players, my percussionist, cellist. So it's made me do something that I needed to do years ago. So sometimes embracing painful lessons that we are faced with in our lives can force some pretty necessary changes. They are not always comfortable. They're not always fun. But if we allow them to change us in a positive way, then it's a win for everyone. So embracing the impermanence of life and the fluidity of the constant change is helpful. When we're not chafing against it or uncomfortable with it, if we can just move toward embracing the change that's in front of us, it gives us an opportunity to grow and learn and expand. So some of the most powerful music I've written, the songs that people mention having a healing effect on them the most, are the ones that were created after going through the fire, the most difficult challenges of my life. The fire of forced change and difficult lessons. So Dizaku Ikeda says, and I'm going to read this twice, the energy of creativity is like a fire that transforms all kinds of obstacles into opportunities for dynamic new growth and advancement. Now there it is, my whole talk in one sentence. So I'm going to read it again. The energy of creativity is like a fire that transforms all kinds of obstacles into opportunities of dynamic new growth and advancement. So in closing, I want to remind us to stay open to the entry point of divine activation, to the entry point of divine guidance, divine creativity. It's the key to everything, really. To stay open, because creativity plays a huge role in how we show up and how we manifest a better life. There's a difference between ordinary imagination and a deeper, more powerful creative force, source, God. And that's what happens when we connect to this always available to us energy. Allowing Spirit to guide us and actually asking for that guidance. This was so hard for me to understand that it's always available. And now I ask for help all the time. Taking the time to sit in the silence and go into inquiry makes a huge difference in navigating our spiritual journeys. So maybe every morning, ask yourself those 4 questions. Where would you have me go? What would you have me do? What would you have me say, and to whom? And stay open to the creativity, to the guidance that's always available to us. So Maya Angelou reminds us, you can't use up creativity. The more you use, the more you have. She was brilliant. So get out there, use that divinely guided creativity, and stay open to new ways to co-create a world that works for everyone. No exceptions. So thank you for having me. And now I'm going to share one of my new favorite songs, Where Would You Have Me Go? If I can find all the right buttons. And there it is.
What would love do here? The answer lives inside, trusting through the fear, pushed beyond our pride. What is it that we're searching for? What is it that we need? It's found beyond our selfish ways, and it thrives beyond our greed. Oh, love, yes, love. What would love do here? Love can heal the world. That's what love, that's what love, that's what love can do. What is it that is mine to do? Can it really be the change? Is kindness really powerful? And why is hate to blame? Every time I look around, and everything I see, love is what we're longing for, and love is all we need. Oh, love, yes, love. What would love do here? Love can heal the world. That's what love, that's what love, that's what love can do. That's what love, that's what love, that's what love can do.
Thank you, Karie.
Thank you. And of
Yes.
course I flipped the song titles for the last song, but you know when you're engineering the thing.
So is it my turn?
Yes, it
Okay,
is.
so my question would be, your closing song is like usually like "You Are the Light," and that's at
Yeah,
the close.
we got that. We got
Okay, we got that. I wanted to be sure. Sometimes people, anyway. Oh my gosh, Carrie. Yes. Well, anyway, like I say, I take my notes and things to review, and it's always wonderful to know this is being recorded and can be watched again. So I would like to there just go over just to let you know that an announcements very briefly next Sunday will be at church with Sarah Merlin. There's a community Sunday, and her title, God, where are we here? God gives us many gifts. What gifts do you give to God? And she's always inspiring and fun and has live music. And I think she has formed a chorus of different singers that go to church that is going to sing for us on her Sunday, and that will be next Sunday. Wonderful. And of course, the newsletter for July will come out after that. And so donations are greatly appreciated. Mail to P.O. Box 755, Lower Lake 95457. P.O. Box 755, Lower Lake 95457. And Karie will have a closing song for us, and then we're going to unmute and stay for chatting if you're able to. So, Karie, would you please sing the closing song?
The
You
words
are
to
the
this
light.
song are, you are the light of love. I am the light of love. You are the light. I am the light. We are the light of love. The word love will change, and I'll call out what that word's going to be. You are the light of love. I'm the light of love. You are the light. I am the light. We are the light of love. Peace.